Hello, welcome. My name is Brian McMillan, publisher of the Observer newspaper, and I'm here with my friend John Subers, Executive Director of the Palm Coast AdventHealth Palm Coast Foundation. How are you, John?
I'm great, Brian. Good to talk to you this morning. Thank you. I'm honored to be one of your interviewees today, so thank you.
Very good. So what we're talking about today is best advice. I think this is kind of a fun thing to hear from different community leaders and people that, you know, what's something that happened to you or something somebody told you, you know, in the past that you think back as like, that was great advice and kind of impacts your life still today. So what do you have in mind?
Well, in my world, I think it starts with relationships, building relationships, genuine relationships in the community. I go back long ago when somebody mentioned my dad was kind of we grew up in Miami. My dad was a Chamber of Commerce type of guy, community, just involved in the community. And I recall that now. So I feel like he is the basis of my relationship building, my enjoyment of touching community members. So I think my success in my careers has been because God's given me the ability to create good relationships. And it comes naturally for me.
So did your dad say something in particular that said like, oh, that's why that relationships are where it's at?
No, he didn't, but somebody mentioned my dad your dad is so good at building relationships. Just watch him. And he was at a chamber meeting. He was on the podium just talking and just the way he interacted. And I remember that's probably been 50 years ago, but that type of influence stays with me today. I kind of recall that in my mind. That's kind of cool to pull back on that one. So thank you for that.
Yeah. So can you describe, what do you mean? What did you see him do or say that made it sound like, okay, this guy is good at building relationships? Now that you saw him in a new light, you know, based on what the other person said.
I think it's really trying to be yourself, not trying to be somebody you're not. And I think we've all personally over my careers have had mentors and had people I've looked up to, and hey, I want to be like that person. And I have tried to either be more aggressive or go down a path that wasn't my natural cadence, and it never worked out very well. So it's taken years to go back to I am who I am, and you just gotta go with that. So be yourself, and don't try to be somebody you're not. But you know, be intentional. Certainly be intentional. Have a plan. So you got to continue to improve and work to improve yourself. And the how-to books, you know, I've been a big believer in the old Zig Ziglar type of thing, and reading those books of how to get better at my profession, at my personalities, at my relationships with my wife, my kids, and others. But it's intentional, but God gave me the ability. It's somewhat natural for me as well.
Yeah, somebody told me that they heard you speak. This is several years ago, but they heard you speak at an event about networking.
Yeah.
And you I don't know if you remember this, but you said, this is what I was told. I wasn't in the room, but you said at the beginning of your presentation, like, how many people in here, raise your hand if I talk to you at the beginning of the meeting? And like everyone's hands went up. Yeah. And does that sound familiar?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, being, I guess, being a welcomer in a meeting like that. I mean, I know that's part of networking, but like, I think of like a church environment too. Like people go into a business room or somewhere where they don't know a lot of people, having people who are able to like, you know, be a friendly face and sincerely say hello, shake your hand. What do you think that, why do you, it seems like you do that really well. What's your thought process in that?
Well, one, I like to get to know people. I like to welcome them. In that particular, it was a chamber event, and it was networking super style. And and I will say part of that is I'm telling on myself here but I like to touch the people, be in the room, connect, and then leave. Not stay the entire time, because we all got other things to do. But being a greeter, being a welcomer is enjoyment for me. I've greeted at my church for years and years and years. I enjoyed it and is good at it, and it's just make people feel comfortable. And we all go to different events and we feel kind of uncomfortable. If I can make somebody feel a little bit more comfortable, as well as the intentional, if I'm speaking at an event, I kind of want to know my audience. So if I touch them before I'm speaking, I'm more comfortable versus being a little nervous to speak, which I am at times. So.
Yeah. Well, I think it's something that you're definitely good at, and it feels like kind of like when someone welcomes me when I'm feeling uncomfortable or feeling kind of like a lone person in the group, it feels like a little gift someone gave to me to kind of like break that ice. And so I think that's something that you're definitely very good at.
Well, we call that in the philanthropy world, we call that a connector. It is putting two people together to get them to talk. And I do that very intentionally at my hospital events, and my philanthropy events too, especially when the clinical people in my world, the doctors, believe it or not, they're saving lives for a living, but they don't like big groups. So I force them with people in the room, so they're forced to talk. And so that's a connector. It's easy for me to say, "Hey, Brian, meet this person." Boom. And they get a 2-minute conversation, and everybody feels a little bit fulfilled with that. So there's intentions there to make the group more cohesive, that if we're together. So
yeah. So to sum up the best advice, if you had to sum it up in one sentence, what would it be? What you learned from your dad?
All right. I'd say kind of be yourself, be humble. Don't think you're so important that you're, and this all comes with age. But be humble. And I'd say most important, have grace. So have grace. I don't want you to give me grace, because I don't get it right all the time. And I tend to provide others grace. Have a bad day, cut me off on traffic. And, we all have cut somebody off on traffic, and they fuss at you, and you just think, man, have you ever done that? Of course you have. Just give me a little grace here, pal. That type of thing. So give a lot of grace, because I need a lot of grace, and it goes back and forth. And as I do get more seasoned in my career and my life, I tend to provide more grace, because I think I need more grace. So, but be yourself, be humble, and don't try to be somebody you're not.
Very good. Thanks a lot, John.
Hey, Brian, appreciate being a part of it. The best advice.